Hey Guardians, welcome back to the channel for another Destiny 2 episode. Now, before we begin this content and go into the video talking about the campaign and 80 plus story missions, that's right, 80 plus story missions and a ton more content in this video to go over and discuss, I want to talk about the weekly giveaway. Every single week for my subscribers out there on this channel, I like to give away 1,000 Silver Destiny or a Destiny emblem from Bungie's store. All you have to do to enter is be subscribed, show your support, like this video, and leave a comment down below. On top of that, at the end of this month, which is August, on August 31st, I will announce 3 Lucky Guardians for copies of Destiny 2. One of those will be a limited collector's edition, which is all of the fancy stuff bundled into one box. That's right, and 2 digital limited deluxe. So if you want to win those, all you have to do is check the link in the description. Also, all the giveaways we just talked about are on the screen now, so take a look at it, pause the video, enter in for all the giveaways. Now, to begin the video. Now, Guardians, that I have your undivided attention, we're going to discuss the information behind Edge Magazine's issue number 310, covering the story featuring Destiny 2. And they had a lot of interesting things to talk about, but first off, Edge Magazine employees got to play the entirety of Destiny 2's campaign. They got to play the entire thing. So they have a lot of information that we don't have, but they got to talk about a little bit of it with Bungie's permission inside of their article in their magazine. So let's go over the tidbits of information they gave us. The beta did not contain the final implementation of how energy weapons are going to work against the AI combatants. So with their elemental shields, if there's a solar shield, you're going to want to deplete that solar shield with a solar energy weapon. And then if you do that, when the shield is gone, it will explode, nuking any enemies in the nearby vicinity, which is pretty awesome. Next up is Nightfall Strikes will have a time limit, so endgame rewards will be timed, and going into a Nightfall Strike, you will also be locked and loaded into your loadout with a specific loadout that you choose going in. So you have to select your kinetic weapon, your energy weapon, and your power weapon before heading into the strike. If you don't do that, then you'll have random weapons that you didn't want, and you won't be able to switch unless you leave and then come back. On top of that, when the timer runs out, the event is gone and no loot for you. So you're going to have to plan ahead with your team of your other 2 teammates, with yourself, on what weapons you're going to use, what subclasses, and you're going to really have to try to decide on a strategy that will work for your team. And when you have that loadout prepared, jump in, do the Nightfall, and see if you're successful. Next up is what Edge Magazine had to say about the story and campaign. There were over 80 missions, PvE activities, and each substantial in length, challenge, story, and reward. They also had this to state: there's so much new content that at one point in development, they realized they had more content than progression, something they fixed substantially. It's really nice to hear this, because from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2, Destiny 1 with all of the DLC expansions, I don't think ever reached over 80 different missions and events. And on top of those 80 events inside of Destiny 2, there's over 50 cutscenes in the game that we'll be able to witness inside of the game, playing through the campaign story, and being able to delve into the lore and the background story behind our Guardians, other characters in the story, and what is going on in the world as we know of the Destiny universe. Something we didn't really get a feel for in Destiny 1. Now, Guardians, moving forward, Edge Magazine got to play the entirety of Destiny 2's campaign, but there was a few things that Bungie didn't want them to talk too much about. One of them being the brand new change to the Hunter subclass node. Not too sure if it's the Gunslinger or the Arcstrider, but the change everybody was very happy about. Whatever this change is from the beta to now is unknown, but I'm really excited. On top of that, the other thing that was mentioned is a brand new Warlock exotic chest piece that allows the Warlock to hover while aiming his weapon. Now, if this was coupled with the Dawnblade perk, which is known as Heat Rise, you'd be able to effectively kill people while you're in the air, get those precision kills, and on top of that, recharge your grenade, which we found out in the article, grenades do a lot more damage to bosses now, which is very important to note. Another small but very important thing to note is the perk on the Gunslinger skill tree known as Crowd Pleaser allows you to get precision hits with the golden gun to generate orbs of light. This can actually generate up to a maximum of 8 orbs of light, recharging your entire fire team supers across the board for all of your allies. If they're alive and those orbs were generated, they will get their entire super if they're completely empty, which is actually a pretty big deal, especially if you were to use this effectively in the Crucible. Next up, Guardians, is public events. On the screen when you're playing the game inside a patrol zone, public events will have a timer of when they're spawning into the world and what location. On top of that, some of the public events will be able to be activated manually by picking up a flag that will instantly recharge your super to full, which is pretty awesome and really interesting, and I cannot wait to see how that looks inside of the game. On top of this, patrols will not unlock in the main game until you get about 66% through the main campaign. So you actually have a lot of story to complete before you can actually go and adventure out and probably do lost sectors and treasure maps. All of that stuff is going to be more towards endgame content than in the story. They actually want you to sit down and do the story and understand what's going on before you go and adventure out and do your own thing, which is actually really cool. Something completely different from Destiny 1. Now, Guardians, Edge Magazine in their article also brought up information about the final boss inside of the Destiny 2 story campaign. And the boss will not be easy to beat. It will be a challenge. It is no longer going to be a bullet sponge event where you jump into a room with a boss, shoot a ton of ammo at it, falls on the ground and gives you loot. This time around, there will actually be a strategy that you have to do to kill the boss, which is really unique because most story bosses in Destiny 1 were just point, click, shoot, and they die. Simply that, it's not going to happen in Destiny 2. Now, Guardians, the final thing to talk about with Edge Magazine's article is the term The Magician. We're not sure what it is, who it is, where it is, but we do know it's a very crucial point to Destiny 2's campaign. What are your thoughts about the Magician? Leave them down in the comment section below. On top of that, if you enjoyed this video and you thought it was entertaining, leave a like, share it with your fellow Guardians, and as always, perfect time to subscribe for daily Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 content. As always, huge shout out to the patrons on the screen now. Stay violent, be privileged.
Oh, hi. VPG isn't here right now, but I guess you enjoyed the content. So over there is the logo you can click on. That will allow you to subscribe. More content up there, and behind the scenes daily content over here on the vlog channel. There you go. Enjoy.